All right, good morning. I'm meteorologist Katia Hall. Meteorologist James Whelan also joining me this morning as we continue to track Tropical Storm Elsa. The latest update from the National Hurricane Center just came out. I'll show you that latest track in just 1 second. It is sitting about 50 miles southwest of Key West, Florida. In fact, the lower and middle Keys already dealing with tropical storm force winds. So it is moving north-northwest at 12 miles per hour, still holding on to those winds of 60 miles per hour. Here's a look at most of those thunderstorms, and you can see they're pretty much over Cuba right now, but we're already starting to see those showers and storms impacting parts of our viewing area, even parts of Marco Island up through the Keys, seeing that pretty heavy rainfall. And meteorologist James Whelan will have a closer look at our local radar in just a minute. So here's a look at the latest track on Tropical Storm Elsa. Again, this just came out a little bit earlier. Winds out of the north, moving north-northwest at 12 miles per hour. It looks like it will strengthen a little bit here as it moves into the Gulf of Mexico by this afternoon, with winds up to 65 miles per hour. By this afternoon, the center of the storm should stay mainly offshore, but keep in mind dealing with potential for tropical storm conditions across Fort Myers, Marco Island throughout the day today. Then as we head into tonight, the center of the storm will move a little bit closer to Tampa. The track previously had a little bit more into the Gulf of Mexico, so a little bit more to the west, but now the latest track has it a little bit closer to Tampa than that previous track that we just saw at 2 a.m. And it looks like just before landfall, winds could even increase up to 70 miles per hour. So that's a change from what we saw previously. Winds going up a little bit more overnight tonight as it nears Tampa, and then it's going to move up towards Jacksonville by this afternoon. Meteorologist James Whelan has a closer look at what we can expect here locally throughout the day today. And James, it's important to note that while we're not under that cone, we could still feel some impacts here locally.
Yeah, a good point to make, Katia, that even though you're not in the cone, that's not the cone of effect. It's just the cone of uncertainty, meaning where the center is going to go. It's not where the effects of the storm are. And of course, this one is going to be a far east-weighted storm, a right-weighted storm because of all the shear going on and pushing it off. And you see the center is here and all the weather is off to the east. There's hardly anything on the west side of this storm at all. So a lot of this is going to stay to the east. All of it pretty much is going to stay to the east. And that's where, well, the whole peninsula is too. So we're tracking, here's that tornado warned storm, no longer warned, but still some gusty winds with it as it heads around the southwestern rim of the lake there. And still some gusty winds. It's still a pretty potent cell. It's moving out of Clewiston right now. And you see the gusty winds with it. Not quite as strong as it was as it moves up to the north. This next one here, this one, not rotation with this one, but this will head up towards Belle Glade here in just a few moments. Very quickly moving off to the northeast in the farmlands right now. Temperatures real muggy and sultry. It's very, very tropical feeling out there. And we have that threat for severe weather today. We're in a level 2 slight risk. Any of those cells that we see moving in, even if they're just one isolated cell, that could spin up into a tornado. So that's why we have that risk, and that's why we have the weather alert for today. This is excessive rainfall. Of course, the west coast is the peak of that, but we also have a marginal threat here on our side too for that excessive rainfall. What we're looking at is really gusty winds, flooding, and a tornado threat through the day today. And watch Vipercast. We're pretty quiet for a little bit with mainly isolated activity around the lake. Then we start to get it farther east by the middle of the afternoon, and then even that starts to fill in more going towards dinner time hours, and then it could get pretty active going into the evening hours, late dinner time or early evening hours here. And any one of these cells could spin up tornadoes too, or at least the just gusty winds as it moves on through. And then the storm well up to the north, but things just start to quiet down, but will still be pretty active into the evening hours going into tonight. And then still a pretty wet day tomorrow, and then we'll taper off rain chances going into the weekend.